Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you registration, which is how to print your block on your paper in exactly the same spot every time. So when you're printing your edition, all of your images will be square on your piece of paper and the margin will be the same all the way around. In this case, we have a 4x4 inch linoleum block and a 6x6 inch piece of paper. So that means your margin is going to be 1 inch all the way around. So when you're printing your proofs, of course, you can just ink up your block and then sort of position your paper over the top and kind of eyeball the inch and then sort of set it down, just kind of guessing because it's just a proof. But for the prints in your edition, you don't want to just guess, you want to have a system. So here's one registration system that works well. First of all, you're going to need a piece of mylar. So this is a thin sheet of plastic that is in the print shop up on top of the red cabinet on the same place where you get your transfer paper. There's also some rolls of this mylar. So all you have to do is cut a piece off for yourself. The piece has to be larger than your paper. In this case, my piece is much larger. And we're going to mark on this mylar with our Sharpie marker. So take your printing block and trace around it with the marker directly around the shape of your printing block. Make sure your mark is tight to the edge of that shape. And now we're going to take your printing paper. So when you're getting ready to edition, first of all, you have to tear as many sheets of your good paper as you need. So your editions are 15, so I would recommend tearing at least 20 sheets of paper, 6x6 inches. And you're going to measure and mark with a pencil the center point on two of these edges here. So you have these two marks. This is 6-inch paper, so I've got two marks at the 3-inch spot here. And so now I'm going to take my paper, slip it under the mylar, and position it so that my margins are even and they're all 1 inch. Right now, in this moment, I'm just eyeballing that, right? I've developed pretty good eyeballs for evenness and straightness, but if you don't trust your eyeballs, then you can also use a ruler to help you out and make any adjustments that you need to, just to make sure the margins are 1 inch and they're straight. And once you have that in place, take your ruler again and line it up between these two halfway marks that you just made on the paper. And on the left side, well, on both sides, you're going to continue the mark off beyond the edge of the paper. So you continue that center line. So we can see that mark outside of the piece of paper. And then on the left side, make a line that traces the edge of your paper to make a T. So on the left side, you have a line that shows you the center. It lines up with the center mark on the paper, and then the top of the T, which shows you the edge of your sheet of paper. And on the right, you just have the center line. So this is called a T and a bar. So like officially, this is known as T and bar registration for that reason. Now, and the final step you have to do is to mark all of the sheets of paper in your edition with that center mark. There is a more efficient way to do it. I only have 4 sheets here, but you would do this with every sheet in your edition. So for you, you would do this with all 20 of your sheets, maybe 10 at a time if 20 is too cumbersome for you. So you line up your sheets of paper, spaced out, so there's about 1 centimeter visible for each sheet. And once you have that, pick up the whole stack with both hands and jog it on the table surface like this, so that all of those edges line up together. And then carefully, like holding it all together, put it back down. And then line up your ruler again with your 2 marks. Right, holding the ruler in place, just carry that mark all the way down with your pencil. And then you can fan them out in the other direction. Right, about 1 centimeter for each sheet. Jog them again. Put it down. Line up your ruler with the center marks. And carry that center mark all the way down. So this way we have a center mark now on each and every sheet of paper at the 3-inch mark there. So every time I go to print, and you can do this whether you're printing by hand or on the press, either way. If you're printing on the press, then you would take this piece of Mylar and just lay it down on the press bed, so that after you've inked your block, you would put it inside your the plate mark that you made, and then you would take your sheet of paper, holding it like this with thumbs on top. You put down the left side, lining up the center lines and the edge of your sheet of paper with the top of the T, then hold it in place with your thumb while you line up the center mark on the right. Right? And then you would smooth it out with your hand like I've shown you and do the printing. Now I have my inked block, and here's my registration sheet. I'll go ahead and lay it down inside my plate mark here. Make sure that it's square in there. Take up my piece of paper. With my center marks here, holding it with my thumbs on top, and then line up the left side, the center mark with center mark, and the edge of the paper with the top of the T, and hold it really steady with my thumb, and then line up that right side with that center mark. Okay, and then I can smooth it out. I'm going to go ahead and print it by hand. Okay, and then holding it with my left hand, I will peel up a corner to see how my print's going. Looks pretty dark, so I'll just keep peeling it up. And there it is. So that is the way to register your block with the paper the same every time, so that it prints in the same place every time, and all of your margins and all the prints in your editions are even. This also comes in very handy when you're doing multiple color printing and you need to print one color on top of another for the same image and they need to overlap precisely. So that's when registration is very key. Thanks for your attention.